Let me show you how I open these skeins of pearl cotton and how I cut them so they're a reasonable sewing length. If you were to find an end and just kind of pull it, you would get into a really tangled mess. So let's avoid that. The first thing I do is take off these two labels. Just slide them off. And I slide the other one off, and you probably know by now that this will show you the thickness of the thread, this number, and this number down here is the code for the color. And some people like to keep these along with a little snippet just to track it. Feel free to do that. So here's the skein. I'm going to untwist it gently so I can see what I'm doing, like this. And you'll find that it's actually a big loop. So once I untwist it like this, I can figure out how to find the middle of it. Usually it's tied at one, well, it's always tied at one end. So I can separate that out. And then this is one big loop. And this is just about the right length for a sewing length. I find at least it's expedient. So I could spend time untying this. If you have a lot to do, I don't actually bother about untying it. I just kind of pull that tight at the end. And then I cut just a little tiny bit off like that. There we go. And there you have multiple lengths that are all a good sewing length. And you can organize them by hooking them onto that brass ring that I've showed you. Or you can do what you choose with them, actually. Let me show you that again. So I have the skein here with the labels off. I open it out carefully. Well, it doesn't have to be too careful at this stage because it's not going to tangle because it has been tied at one end. I find the knot at one end, and at this point I usually do open it out into a big loop like this. It's kind of a big loop. And now I hold it by the knot. And I could, figure out that I just need to undo the knot. But actually, I've always had big classes and I like to use my time wisely. So I'm just going to cut it at the end here, straight across. I only lose a tiny bit of thread that way. And it saves me a lot of time and bother. And so now I have these lengths that I can easily attach to something and have them ready for the children to sew with. There is another way to manage your threads if you are just using a few threads, and that is to braid them together like this. So if I'm just using a couple of different colors, I will braid them together, and then to pull one out, you just hold it firmly but not tightly, so gently here, and you just pull one piece of thread and you will pull it up, and it looks like this is getting tangled, but actually because it's been braided, this thread is just going to pull right through all the way like that. And so now I have my thread here ready to sew with. This doesn't work if you're using the 6-strand floss. It does work if you're using pearl cotton. So enjoy this.